So, as Alan was saying, there are places for Brian McClare and Dion Dublin and, of course, Lee Sharp. Dublin starts an FA Cup tie for United for the first time, and with Paul Parker back at number 2, it looks more like the normal back four, Trevor Brooking.
Well, it does. I think Paul Parker's got an important job to do today, because Rick Holden does supply a terrific range of service, supply of crosses, so Parker will have to mark Holden tight. Sharp with foot on the right-hand side. Giggs and him could swap over as the 90 minutes unfold.
Now, Oldham have their own absentees. Sean McCarthy, as you said, is cup-tied. Steve Redmond suspended. The 2 Norwegians, among others, with long-term injuries. But the good news for them today is that number 4, Nick Henry, has shaken off a hamstring injury, and number 11, Paul Bernard, has made it back double quick from a cartilage operation only a month ago. So it looks, from that then, like another 4-4-2.
It does. It's a bit of a gamble. Of course, Paul Bernard and Chris Makin playing at right-back could have his hands full with Giggs. He found him a difficult opponent on Easter Monday. But certainly, I'm pleased to see Beckford up alongside Sharp, because I thought for the first half hour in the game at Old Trafford, he was a bit too isolated.
Yes, he was off. And immediately it's Henry who challenges Mark Hughes, and there is a free kick. So Dublin will be a target for anything that's pumped forward from this sort of position today. He's being picked up by Richard Jobson at the moment, number 5 for Oldham. And here it is who heads it clear to 25, that's Rick Holden. Sharp, that's Graham Sharp, as opposed to Lee Sharp, who's playing on the other team. And here's a challenge by Bernard on Irwin. You can see from the way the paper is blowing across the pitch just how powerful the wind is out there. Hughes. Really good run by the Oldham number 3.
Neil Poynton, a very good attacking fullback. Lee Sharp there, just allowed him to get the wrong side, as you can see. He chests it down well, and there is contact a little bit in the back. Poynton goes down. The referee, I've seen them give it.
That was McClare helping out in defence. It's been pumped forward by Lee Sharp, and now Fleming back to Hallworth, who has to kick. Not a bad volley, actually, by the keeper. This is Makin. Ince, Sharp's come across, cut out by Fleming. Now Hughes. Henry. Poynton. And now on this side of the pitch, Bernard was making a strong run across. It's an offside flag. John Hallworth was confused by the presence of his own player there.
I think he might have called late, and Poynton actually ducked, and by then he thought Poynton was going to make the header, so quite relieved probably to get away with a second corner.
Sharp again. That's easier for Hallworth. Sharp crosses, defender in the way. There were 2 players, Ince and Dublin, waiting for it. Hughes finds Sharp again. Parker. And it's Ince! Oh, so close.
I thought that was in. A great diving header from Paul Ince. But just the comparison there on the 2 crosses. This one, look, on the right foot of Parker, whipped in first time, dives superbly just past the angle. The one before...
Holden, with Graham Sharp coming up unmarked, number 14. Oh, Beckford was in the middle there in a very ominous position, and already the match starts to open up in the trend of games between these 2 sides. Rick Holden to take the corner, and Jobson will come to the back of the penalty area, trying to arrive late. Pallister knows exactly where he is. And in fact, Pallister won the header. This is Bernard. Touched off by Milligan. This is Henry. Now he's away from Poynton. Now, can he get it in this time with his right foot? And he has. Hughes is coming in. Ince. McClare to his left. Good reading of the game there by Milligan, the captain, number 10. And Beckford's now gone down the centre, leaving the wing free for Bernard here. 3 the other way for Oldham. Manchester United funneling back. Beckford comes towards the near post. Sharp is beyond the far there. Here, Beckford's up. Bernard couldn't make it. Making. McClare was fouled there, but he's offside. Good little player, Owen. Oldham actually rescued him, really, at one time in his career. He came on a free there from Leeds, then was transferred from Oldham to Manchester United, and I don't think there's been a more consistent player at Old Trafford for the last 2 seasons.
Probably those 2 matches against Man United in the semi-finals that clinched that transfer deal.
I think they did, Trevor. I think they did. He's also going to the World Cup, of course, with Ireland, isn't he? Here's right or left. This is Neil Poynton, and Beckford's made a splendid run through the middle. Number 17. It's come off Parker to Holden. Graham Sharp. Oh, he's put it wide. That was a really good chance made by Holden.
It was a great, wasn't it, by Neil Poynton again. I mean, he keeps cropping up in all areas. Beckford played it wide. Rick Holden, I have to say, I think this was a shot.
So there. And there's Pallister.
First shot, isn't it?
Well, that was Giggs, and it bounced. Schmeichel just hung on. One of the best efforts so far, and it's come from Graham Sharp here.
It was a great save, that full stretch. Just got his hand to it and then managed to retrieve it as it looked as if it was going to go to the second striker. Could have been in an offside position, Beckford, though.
Making runs now. This is Giggs. This is better. This is Irwin. Bit hard. McClare. Ince. They're following in each time. Dublin. Oh no, they were coming out again. Dublin's coming in, but it's too long for him and for Giggs.
That was unlucky.
And it's crossed by Bernard, and Graham Sharp taken out by Bruce. And Oldham immediately in reply show that they're still right in the heart of the match. Waiting for the corner, which will be taken by Holden. Neil Poynton's come forward this time to join Jobson and company. And Beckford arriving with Milligan. And this is Parker. McClare's in there, and Sharp coming in at the back, Lee Sharp. So, good effort. And Giggs. Minutes of normal time remaining. Is it Irwin territory or is it Giggs territory?
I would say it's more Dennis Irwin. You know, it's sort of in the middle. I mean, both would fancy it. It just depends which side the wall is set up.
Yeah. It's Irwin. Oh yes, Hallworth read it well.
He hit it well. He's very good with free kicks.
Lee Sharp and McClare. Still Giggs. Rolls it across. Brian Robson. Well, that would have been too much of a fairy story, surely. Just the D. And Schmeichel having to have his wits about him here. Holden's left foot can be deadly. Philip Don pushing the wall back. Holden hits the wall. This is Makin. Wasn't a bad effort by the fullback either, was it? And the player who blocked the original shot is down injured. Robson's arriving now. It's Makin who's come across to mark him. In fact, this is still Giggs, and he goes cross-field. There are 3 up there to help him, and it's Giggs. Oh, he's overrun it. Or win. Hughes. Saved by John Hallworth. Magnificent. Mark Hughes' header. Irwin's cross. Hughes got power, and Hallworth was going the wrong way. He stuck out his right arm. Fine save. Corner to Manchester United. Hughes denied. And half away by Graham Sharp. Now, is that going to unlock the door, that moment? Here's Lee Sharp. It's Parker now. Giggs. Hughes again. McClare didn't drop for him. Oh, great. And volleyed clear by Irwin, only as far as Makin here. Skips round the outside. 3 Oldham players in the centre if he can get across him. Not the best position for him, but he's up against 2 and he did ever so well to get a corner. Persistent play by Makin. Scored! Neil Poynton got in there, and Schmeichel's made a bad mistake. And Joe Royle's team are in front. Andy Ritchie, go back and sit down, I think.
Yeah, he's putting his tracksuit on again because there's no way Joe Royle would change it. They hadn't looked dangerous, had they? And then this is whipped in. It's a good cross. Schmeichel comes, loses it, and Poynton hooks it in. Goalkeeping mistake. And now I think Oldham are going to try and sit back on that 1-0 lead, and it's up to Manchester United.
It looked a simple matter for the goalkeeper, but when it dropped, Neil Poynton smashed it in on the volley. And Oldham Athletic, the side who've never been to an FA Cup final, lead Manchester United 1-0. Giggs. Now then, 13 minutes away, Oldham, from the FA Cup final. Manchester United, a lot of people in the stadium, and myself momentarily, thought it might have gone in. What he is completely unmarked. Where were the defenders there?
Well, the discussion, I'm sure, would have gone on if it had ended in the back of the net, but as it is, Manchester United can breathe a sigh of relief. They are still only 1 goal down, but they should have been 2.
It was Holden again with 5. He's away from the other defender, who was Lee Sharp. Makin. And the Old had 2 of these. Haven't made anything of them so far. Dennis Irwin. Irwin drove it over. And Robson's waiting for this, and it comes off his head and it goes out for a goal kick. And Makin is the defender. It's still Giggs, and Holden had to make that challenge, and he did it well. Rick Holden up. Milligan has to get the head on this. Beckford is needed, he wasn't there. It's hooked back in for Hughes. It's there! They didn't get the ball away, Oldham. And Manchester United have saved it in the last minute. Extraordinary stuff. It wasn't cleared properly, and look at Mark Hughes, the volleying specialist, but he's never left it as late as that, and he rescues Manchester United with a brilliant strike round Fleming, and it's 1-1, Trevor.
Well, a quite magnificent volley. I mean, you know, look at that. He's at full stretch to control the volley. It was no more than a half chance. Fantastic character from United, but Hughes in particular, who's had such a physical battle, hasn't he? It was Fleming in the end who was left with him, but I don't think even he could anticipate that he could control a volley at full stretch like that. Gave Hallworth no chance, and a wonderful equaliser.
And here comes Ince. He's got Giggs outside him. Didn't play it when he should have done. Well, if the first 90 minutes was pretty dull, the extra time has more than made up for it. Joe Royle big enough to smile, but he must feel heartbroken inside. Hughes, the hero for Manchester United. It was a heroic sort of goal, but for Poynton, who would have been the hero, his name would have been splashed across every paper tomorrow morning after Schmeichel's error. If only Oldham could have held out for another 2 or 3 minutes. But that's cup football, and nothing has gone according to plan in the FA Cup this season. The 2 Lancashire rivals have finished level after extra time, A magnificent goal by Hughes. Forces the